Welcome, 239 Uncensored, everything Southwest Florida and beyond. In this podcast, we have a great, this is going to be actually a fascinating podcast. Great guest, TJ Hickey. He's basically, a guy from Boston. TJ, are you on?
I am on. Happy to be.
All right. Welcome to the podcast. And it's always a great time to have, especially our folks from up in New England. So you grew up in New England, from my understanding, Boston area.
Yeah, I grew up in Charlestown, Massachusetts. If those of you have seen the movie The Town with Ben Affleck, that was a big movie 5-6 years ago. That is where I grew up. It's a neighborhood of Boston.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about you. And the reason why, we wanted to bring you on, number one, you got tons of fans. You got a lot of people that listen to you. You do some fantastic music. And you're just really big, and you're verified through all the different platforms. And we'll talk a little bit about how that process works as well and what that means. But give me a little bit. I know you played hockey when you were young, and then how did you transition from doing something like that to what you're doing today?
Yeah, it actually is a pretty funny story of how this all kind of came about musically. I have no musical background whatsoever. I have no pitch. If someone asked me to actually look and go to a music theory class, I would have no idea how to do it. It's very organic. It's very hard work driven. I've literally self-taught myself a lot of the things that I do, which is probably good and bad. I think musically speaking, technically speaking, I'm not kind of a regular artist. I'm not exactly hitting the right notes or the right melodies, but I think it gives me a little bit of a unique sound. But I was an athlete my whole life. I played hockey. I was lucky enough to go to Union College and play hockey for a year there. And I was cut months into my freshman year of what I thought was going to be a pretty long career. And so I kind of had this, my whole life was very busy. It was very scheduled. It was very detail oriented. And I had all this free time in my hands. And my friends were making music. They were in a band. And I started to get into guys like Mac Miller, Sammy Adams. They were up and coming in the New England area. So I just started writing songs, not thinking they were going to go anywhere. I put stuff on YouTube, and if you would have told me, 10 years ago, I think I've been making music for about 9 or 10 years, that I'd be here doing this and on this podcast, radio station, I'd laugh at you. So it's been quite a journey to get here.
No, it's pretty fascinating how those things go. And do you remember what really the day, I guess, that you said, this is what I want to do? Do you kind of remember how that went? And you're like, hey, I got the talent. I can do this.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks thought this would be a phase, because when I was cut from my hockey team, I was devastated. And I think people thought I was just using this as an outlet to, release some anger. And I honestly just fell in love with the process. I actually, all the hockey guys had singles when I was at Union College. And this is recent. This is probably a year ago. And some kid messaged me on Instagram. And I don't always get to every DM, but I happened to see this one. And the kid was like, if you would have told me years ago I'd be stumbling across your music after walking in the hallway and hearing you yelling into a microphone in your dorm room. So it's definitely something I didn't see coming. Not a lot of people saw it coming, but I think once the day that I kind of lost my status as a college athlete, I needed to find something in order to feel that recognition.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And then what is kind of I've listened to a lot of your stuff in your genre, and what type of stuff do you really enjoy? What type of music do you enjoy making?
I think one of the favorite parts of being an independent artist and having so many different backgrounds as I do, I went to 3 different high schools. I went to 2 different colleges. I've lived in a couple towns. I have kind of a versatile sound because I've listened to a lot of different types of music. Like here in Boston in, June, July, August, September, it's very country music driven. And then in the wintertime, I listen to a lot of Meek Mill and Drake and Ace Hood. I mean, I just kind of have this wide range of music, and I think my music kind of reflects that. And it's something I'm always experimenting with. I remember sitting down with labels years ago, and I thought I wanted to go that route. And they would say, what's your brand? What kind of music do you make? Or questions like this. And I would say, I make pretty much a little bit of everything, which is what I named one of my first albums years ago. And that's always, that's a tough thing, because I think a lot of, especially in today's culture, a lot of people want to see a brand. They want to know who you are, what you stand for. And I think I have a lot of different elements that I bring into my music. So if someone asked me my genre, I'd have a really hard time telling them that, because I do like to switch it up all the time.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are starting to do that a little bit now. We, obviously I listen to a lot of music, and what's cool about me, I'm a little bit older, right? But I listen to like everything. I think when I listen to country for too long, I want to switch to something else. I go into rock, maybe a little bit of hip hop, and a little bit, and then having young girls in my life, as far as my daughters, and my wife is a little bit younger than me, so I have to kind of listen to what they listen to. So I get it, and I think musicians nowadays, even folks in country, try to venture out to different things, and there's a lot of people that are collaborating, and I think it really makes the whole industry pretty neat in general.
Yeah, it does. I think honestly, as recent as like 3 or 4 years, you've seen artists kind of make that leap that I think was really frowned upon years ago. Like guys like Machine Gun Kelly going from that hip hop all the way into the punk rock. Mod Sun is another guy. I know Russ is another independent artist that is constantly kind of switching up between R&B and hip hop. So I do think that you've seen Drake do it. I mean, Drake's probably the reason a lot of these artists, I can definitely say for myself, have gone genre changing. So it's exciting to see.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, and what's great about it is, just the different varying types and styles of music. And I think when you bring those two together, and I really had a chance recently to see Elton John, and I know he hooked up with Dua Lipa. I know it's a little bit of different genre there, but when you put those two together in those, I guess, just the ages apart, it's really cool how they can come and I think I look at some of these musicians that have hooked up with some of the younger folks as well, and I think it really helps them both ways. I mean, it's a great thing, and I think the younger people that appreciate, maybe like the Rolling Stones and things like that. Mick Jagger, of course, when you're getting a call from Mick Jagger, it's pretty cool, right? You're going to do a collaboration with him, but I think that's kind of a really neat thing, an opportunity for everybody, because I think we all benefit by listening to it.
Absolutely. There's beauty in every era of music. So
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, I think, your Spotify, you've got like over 100,000 listens or listeners, people that listen to your music a month. That's like a lot, right?
Yeah, it depends on who you're talking to, right? Someone like me, I'm pretty happy. I think, fortunately and unfortunately, as an artist, you always want more, right? You always want more and more
Sure.
people in your music, so it never feels like enough, which keeps you going. But when you sit back and you actually reflect on 100,000 people a month, it is pretty cool, and I am grateful for that.
Yeah, no, that's great. Now, I know there's a process to be verified in social media and things like that, and I believe you got verifications in multi-platforms. How does that process work to be verified?
I get that question a lot. I've been verified for like 5 or 6 years, so I can't even recall. I believe I was signed with an agency for a while. A lot of agencies will do that, like booking agents. I am no longer signed with them, but it's definitely become a little bit of a scam thing too lately. A lot of people have used my name, and I've gotten DMs from people with a good following that said, "Is this person verified?" That's really not how it works. Obviously, you have to go through the Instagram channels and agencies. That's why industry artists are verified when they could have as little as 2,000 or 3,000. So it's not as glamorous as I think a lot of people will make it out to be. But it is good to have kind of you being the brand. There are a lot of fake accounts out there, and it's good to have that identity.
Yeah, and it kind of like solidifies or verifies and basically validates what it's there for, right? That you are verified and you're legit. And I think our producer Diana, she reached out, and and I really appreciate you coming on, because we'd like to, in the 239, I don't know, have you ever been down in Southwest Florida? Have you ever been down this way?
I don't think so. No, I honestly,
south of Tampa. We're just a little bit south of Tampa, but we kind of get around. Yeah,
I've always wanted to go, especially to Tampa. I just haven't made my way down there, so I hope to someday.
Yeah, no, we'd love to have you come down. When you come down, visit, come in the studio, do a little music for us. But right now, I go to Tampa quite a bit because I have a really good friend, and I'm a huge Brady fan. What's your thoughts on Tom Brady?
I am. I think I think the media likes to kind of portray that New England is against Tom Brady, and maybe in a way when they're playing New England, you are. But I'm absolutely happy that he's down there got his ring, and I'm happy that he was successful. I think as an individual who was a part of the team and who played sports and had the media write about them, I think there's something to be said for going on your own at the end of your career after you've kind of been there, done that, everything, and getting that ring without what folks thought was the reason you got all those rings before that. So I definitely commend him for that, and I'm happy for his success, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit selfish because obviously he landed in Tampa, so I can literally drive 2 hours away and go see him play. I saw him, I think, 4 times last year, and I was like, this might be his last year. Then sure enough, he retires, right? And just put me into like a massive depression. And then no, he'd come back. He's back. We get him another year. So, that's kind of cool. He's come down to Naples. He was just here a couple weeks ago, and he got out there and he was just throwing footballs at kids. I mean, it was a fundraiser, but it was his fundraiser, all for a good cause. And just, I didn't get to meet him personally, but just a good guy. And I think he's legit. And I did a little research on you. You have Gronkowski's girlfriend, Camille Kostek, follows you on Instagram. I mean, Jesus, how cool is that?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to know Camille way before the Gronkowski era, and she's actually in a couple of my music videos. If you go back to, probably like one of the first songs I ever made, she's in that. It's called "Love You Later On." And we've talked way before. I think she's reached a level of fame where I'm no longer spotlight. But no, she's a great girl. I'm happy for her success, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's great. And Gronkowski, we see him around here quite a bit. His mother just lives up the road, so that guy is like a beast, and he's just he likes to have fun. And a funny story is when Gronkowski was down here at the fundraiser. Gronkowski's out there. He's sweating his ass off. He's got his T-shirt on. He's just getting it right, and he's throwing footballs to kids and doing all kinds of things. And then Brady pulls up in this big limo. Brady gets out, walks over to a air-conditioned tent, sits down, has a drink, just chilling, and goes out and does his thing. But Gronk is like sweating. He doesn't have a special tent. And from my understanding, they were jaw-jacking in a fun way about it. Like, yeah, Brady gets all this stuff, and I get this.
Yeah, he's an animal. I don't think Gronk needs much to be happy. He's one of those unique individuals. He's just always in a good mood. And his brother Gordy is really connected in the Boston scene. He's always here too. So.
Oh, really? That's really cool. Yeah, that's good. It's good when you have like a family like that can, be so athletic and all that. So it's great. But yeah, so let me ask you this. Where can we find you, and where's the best way to listen to your music? We already talked a little bit about Spotify. I know you have Instagram going, and what's the best way to get your word out?
Yeah, I'd say Spotify and Instagram. At TJ_Hickey on Instagram. If you search TJ Hickey on Spotify, those are probably the 2 biggest platforms that I push. I get all these comments about how I'm supposed to be on TikTok. I do have a TikTok. I'm a little older. I don't know the TikTok world very well. I'm a little bit uncommittal to it. But I am on what I'd like to think is every social media, but I definitely say Instagram and Spotify are my 2, biggest and 2 that I'm pushing all the time.
TJ, I'm 55, right? So I get this TikTok account. I got to tell you this. I got this TikTok account, and I can't get I can't stop watching it. And then I posted like a stupid little video, and it gets like all these views. And I'm like, how the hell does this stupid video of me pumping gas get so many views? And then I also do a video where I try to, work on it and give some information out, things like it gets nothing. So the stupider, the better on TikTok. And then I find myself getting in these rabbit holes. Like I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. Usually I grab my phone, did the world end overnight? No, I guess I'm still here. I look at this stuff, and the next thing I know, it's like 8:30. I go, shit, I got to get up, get moving. But it's kind of a cool thing. I just do it for fun, and I'm retired, and I sell real estate. I'm a broker, so I have offices in Tampa and here, but I'm kind of retired. I was in law enforcement for all these years, so I'm kind of like, I have fun on there. It's just it's good. So get it real quick, or get on it real quick, and it's good.
Yeah, they designed it for that, right?
Yeah. One other thing too is, what's the craziest thing is they do these lives on TikTok. So people like yourselves that have skills, that can do things, they're just on there live, and people are like watching. And I look up, and there's like 65,000 people watching this guy with he can play the guitar with like one hand, and the guy's amazing. But it's kind of cool. It's a showcase if you do those things.
That pushes people to my music, which is always the goal, right?
Yeah.
You need to explore, and you need to be a part of. And like I said, honestly, I need to do a better job of it. But it's a little bit out of my reach, and I know.
Yeah, no, and get your young nephews or family members to help you with it, because that's usually the ones that know all about that stuff.
Yeah, my younger sisters will help me out. They're in their early 20s, so they'll help me out.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, TJ, I really appreciate you coming on. Anything else to add? Just keep pushing. Grinding, they call it, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I appreciate the time. I'd say anyone that's doing this, or is trying to do this, or is listening to this, you have to really love doing this. I think anyone who's in this social media world, this influencer world, whatever you want to call it, if you do it for the wrong reasons, it's not going to work out. I legitimately tell people, like, what's your favorite part about this? I mean, the shows are nice, the love on Instagram posts and all that. It's really nice. But like, my favorite thing in the world is I record right here. My favorite thing in the world is going through beats that producers send and finding a melody and creating a storyline. I say all the time, I don't always write songs that are based on my life, or based how I think, or based how I view the world. A lot of times my favorite part about music is I get to become someone else. I think of myself as a movie script writer. So I get to go in there and create this character, create this narrative. I write a lot of heartbreak songs. I've never been in a serious relationship. It's more of just a world you get to create. And I think a lot of people get involved in this because they want the attention, which is all well and fine, but you'll see that fade out because you actually have to love the process of making music and actually making the music, and all the rest of the stuff is all just smoke and mirrors. So that's my advice for people that are listening, that are trying to get into this industry of music or internet success, if they call it.
Great words. And I totally get it. I do it for hobby, to have fun with the podcast. And then we, post little clips here and there. And, with everything going on in the world today, I think just having a portion of your life that's just, you can smile and laugh about and just have a good time with, I think is very important. And, obviously, the things that come with it are benefits, but, do it for the right reason. And I think, as it'll definitely pay off for you.
Absolutely. And it takes a long time. And I think that's, I get DMs, ask people saying, hey, post my stuff or make a song with me or do this. It's not one of those overnight things.
Right.
It's something that you have to do for a long time. And in order to get where you want to go, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, which is why you have to love it. Because if you start this up and don't think you're going to be in this for what can be 10, 15 years with no reward, you actually have to love the process of it in order to even get to those 10 to 15 years. Yeah,
no, I agree. Well, again, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It's been a great conversation with you. And I love the fact that you're from Boston. I love the fact that you're making it happen up that way. Anything we can do for you down here in Southwest Florida, just let us know.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. It's always great to get the story out there, so I appreciate it.
Fantastic. 239 Uncensored, everything Southwest Florida and beyond. And we are out.